It's been a while since we heard that tune, but football is back in case you haven't noticed. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Sports Talk Rams show. I'm, of course, E. This is Jay. Jay joining me right now. Partner, it's been a while, but how you doing tonight?
Doing good, partner. Let's get this show going. It's been a while. Glad to be back.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and jump right to it. We're going to talk about this past Sunday. Happy victory week here. Rams took it to the Titans. They blew them away, 33-19. What was your take on the game by the Rams?
First of all, I'll say defense. Defense wins games, and so far the second game, for the second week of the season, I think our defense has put in work. Even after Witherspoon left the first quarter, I believe, and after his injury, in which we'll talk about later. Yeah, I'll say the defense stepped up. And I can't forget about Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua dual showdown.
Yeah, indeed, it was a productive first win or second win of the season. Of course, every victory in the NFL can come with a price. As Jay mentioned, Witherspoon went down with an injury. He'll be out for an undetermined amount of time. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's talk about this past Sunday's game. So the Rams went to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Matthew Stafford has never beat the Titans in his career. So this Sunday was the first time in his 17-year career that he took out the Tennessee Titans. And I gotta say, he played really well this past week. He had an interception, which it didn't look like it wasn't his fault though. But what do you think of Matthew Stafford's play so far?
Yeah, so far I think we've seen still the elite ability in Matthew Stafford's as a quarterback. Pretty much, he's 39, 40 years old. He's still dealing with a back injury. You could tell by the way he gets tackled, and he grimaces in pain. But this week he showed he could still come out and contribute at a high efficient as a future Hall of Famer, as we talked about in the previous episodes. I think Stafford looked pretty great out there, and the chemistry this is just the beginning of a chemistry season with the wide receivers.
Yeah, Stafford went 23 out of 33, 298 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, mostly in the second half, and he had that interception. But those are okay numbers for him. Hasn't really thrown an interception until this past Sunday, so that's a good thing. We also look at the running game. We saw Puka Nacua had that 45-yard bust in the first half. That was the first touchdown of the game. But what was your reaction with Corum getting some playing time?
Yeah, so we actually gave him a couple runs, and he actually did pretty good, I'll say, because he would average like more than 5 yards per run, and he hit that touchdown, which I'm not shocked, but at the same time happy for Corum and his ability. He has quickness in his feet that makes him get extra yardage. Shout out to that O-line as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about this game as we go over some scoring plays here. After first quarter, we meant to check out this play by Puka Nacua, partner. The handoff to him, and he took off running. It kind of reminds you of Cooper Kupp from the old days, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. A little bit of Cooper Kupp's medicine right there. Oh, Cooper.
So that was the first score of the game. Rams took a 7-0 lead in the second quarter. I thought this was a turning point of the game right here, partner. The Rams punt. As you see, the Titans take the punt return and they take it all the way to the end zone. But guess what happened? A penalty. Illegal block in the back, which negated that one. What was your thought of that play?
Yeah, that was big because That was tough to watch. You can never see a punt return, especially on a great defense like ours.
Yeah, and Joe Falso, he's a special teams coach, was once the special teams coach when the Rams came to LA.
Oh
So he's
yeah,
playing against his former team, and he's not happy with that play. So that negated the touchdown, would have tied the game. But same drive, uh, Cam Ward, the quarterback, passes here to Eric Amomanor. That's a 9-yard pass. The Titans take a 10-10 lead, but as we witnessed before, partner, turnover, Stafford throws an interception. Not his fault though, doesn't it?
yeah. It's one of those interceptions that wasn't his fault, just a costly, just mistake from the opposite.
Yeah, and that set up a field goal by Joey Slyle, 37 yards. Titans go up at the half, 13-10. Now let's go to the third quarter. After exchanging some field goals, here's where we start cooking, partner. Stafford, 8-yard pass here to Davis Allen, tight end. What do you think of him? Is he the future of this team?
I love it. Back-to-back weeks with a touchdown with Davis Allen. Since Cody Parkinson is out for injury, Havy's still there, and Terrence Ferguson looking at our veterans like it.
And that actually set up from the Rams special team. You see this pump block, look at this sack fumble recovery by the Rams defense. They came to play this week, huh?
Yeah, as I expected, brother. Rams defense is looking pretty tough out there.
Yeah, that set up the touchdown there. Rams went up 20-16 as we go into the fourth quarter. We've been looking for Davante Adams, partner. He had a good game here. He went over 100 yards receiving. Are they connecting well, Stafford and Adams?
Yeah, that's what us Rams fans were waiting for, and yep, this is the first of many this year.
He had over 100 yards receiving. His first 100-yard game as a Ram, had 84 last week in the win over Houston. But here's my favorite play right here inside the red zone. Partner Stafford going to the end zone, corner of the end zone, and there he is. Davante Adams, 16-yard pass that put up the Rams 27-16. What was your reaction to his first touchdown pass?
I screamed there, partner, as a Rams fan. I screamed, "That's the vintage Davante Adams Stafford connection."
Shows the reason why the Rams signed Davante Adams. Many say he's the new Cooper Kupp, but we'll see how the season goes. We go later on the fourth quarter, partner. This is where things get interesting. The Rams, they run the ball here. Kyren Williams and then Blake Corum. How do you like that 1-2 combination there?
Yeah, that's how we open up our throwing game. We get our running game going, but I love it so far.
Yeah, you see Williams here and then Corum taking some plays here. And then this play here by this run here by Corum took him to the 1-yard line. I figured, is there going to be a running back controversy here?
Just love it. Blake Corum coming out strong this year. I love it.
And then the Rams punch it in here with Blake Corum again. 1-yard run, partner, but the extra point was blocked. So the score stands at 33-16 again. Titans trying to get some points here. Just under a couple minutes to go. Joey Slyle gets a 35-yard field goal. 33-19. The Rams, or the Titans actually go for an onside kick, partner, but onside kick attempt failed. Rams recovered.
Yeah, at that point they had to do it because they were down 2 possessions. So at this point it was do or die.
So the Rams just ran out the clock, and Matthew Stafford and the Rams are 2-0 with the final score of the Rams 33, Titans 19. We mentioned Stafford 23 of 33 for 298, 2 touchdowns with that pick. Kyren Williams 17 carries, 66 yards, and he only has 1 touchdown in the season so far. Is that correct?
Yeah, so far correct. First week, 1 touchdown.
Puka Nacua had a 45-yard touchdown run. I believe that's his first career touchdown rush. We talked about Corum. He had 1 touchdown, 44 yards on 5 carries. And then the receiving game, Davante Adams led the way. 6 catches, 106 yards with that touchdown. Even Puka Nacua contributed to 8 catches and 91 yards. How's that 1-2 combination working so far for LA?
And not just that, Davante Adams reached 12,000 career receiving yards that game. overall in his career, which is a huge milestone for Devontae Adams. He's up there with Antonio Brown and many others, Brandon Marshall, Jimmy Smith. So he's the 11th most 100-plus yard receiving games in NFL history with 46 100-plus yards.
Mentioned David Allen, back-to-back touchdowns. He got his second touchdown of the season. Tyler Higbee had 4 catches for 37 yards, so he's coming up on the stats there. How about Landman on defense? He had 4 tackles, 4 assists, and he also had that fumble return too that set up the leading score.
I love it. The captain of the defense, as we were seeing in preseason, as he was being a leader, he's showing it out there so far.
Brian Young had 2 sacks in the game. Turner also had a sack. They actually have 4 sacks in this game, partner. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's 5 sacks. Stewart too also had a sack. So that defense actually came hungry. Didn't see much for Jared Verse, but Young put up a good game. So It's a very impressive victory here, partner, for the Rams, correct?
Yeah, 100%. So far, the Rams are looking great this season. Not like the last 2 seasons in which we started off bad, and everybody's pretty much healthy besides a couple soft injuries we just got.
And the Rams are 2-0, partner, for the first time since 2021, which is the Super Bowl year in which the Rams won on to the Super Bowl, which was Matthew Stafford's first season with the Rams. So how important was it to get off to these two wins as we look at the schedule? Their next 2 games this weekend, they'll be in Philadelphia. They'll play the Eagles in that championship or division playoff rematch, and then they'll return home at the end of the month to take on the Colts.
Yeah, it's very big to get these 2 victories out the way because, as you see, we have big matchups coming up, especially this week versus our rematch we want, versus the Eagles, and don't forget those Ravens and the 49ers in our division. The Colts game should be a 50-50 as well, with Jones actually doing good this year.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, he actually spoke to CBS's Evan Rochburn after the win. So let's peek in and what he had to say about Devontae Adams, his new receiver they brought in.
Well, Matthew, I'm often told that halftime adjustments are overrated. Locker room speeches overrated. But this second half for you guys, something changed. So what was it? We finished some drives. We had some nice drives in the first half and finished with threes or turnovers or whatever it was. And we just got out of our own way in the second half, cleaned it up. Guys up front played great. I was able to make a couple plays down the field with some guys. And then Kyron and Blake did a hell of a job late icing it. I want to get into Devontae because he made a lot of plays in week 1, maybe ones that don't show up on the stat sheet. But today, he filled it up. What do you think was the difference there? No, just time together. We keep working together. He's a really talented player, a great teammate. We're happy to have him. The more weapons we can get going at the same time, the tougher we are to stop. And today was kind of his turn. He did a hell of a job for us. You've been in this league for a long time. I know it's a long season, but getting off to a fast start, 2-0, what's the significance? It sure beats what we did in the last 2 years, I'll tell you that. So, no, it's great. Anytime you win, I don't care if it's week 1, 2, or week 16, 17, they all count the same, but it is nice to get 2 under our belt before we, head to Philly. Matthew, congrats. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's nice to see Matthew Stafford smile, their partner, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Gotta love seeing Stafford out there in the Rams uniform, especially after a victory.
What was your reaction to his comments? Or his reaction to how they played?
He couldn't have said any better because he's just proud of his guys. It's always tough going into a away territory, especially in Tennessee Titans, even though they have a rookie quarterback like Cam Ward. It's still a tough environment, and the Titans actually did great that first half. It was a tough, slow start for the Rams, to be honest. That first half, it was tough to watch, but that second half, it was all Rams, to be honest. But great comments by Stafford overall.
Yeah, so we're gonna get you some more reactions in just a couple of seconds, but I do want to address this or bring this up to you. Many people thought Devontae Adams had a quiet game last week, but I don't think that was true. I mean, he had a slow first half. I mean, of course, it's gonna be like that when you join a new team, and the fact that he didn't play in the preseason. So, I mean, today or Sunday actually felt like his coming out game. Went over 100 yards and got his first touchdown. So, do you feel that he had a quiet game last week or no?
Oh, not quiet. He was targeted more than 12 times, and he did drop a lot of balls in which I think it was just that week one, like you mentioned, he didn't play preseason. It was their first official game with Stafford, and even Steve Avila, or O-line, got injured early in that game, so I don't think he had a quiet game.
Well, he did have good games after, but I want to give you over to Coach Sean McVay. He had some things to say about this win. Let's hear what Coach Sean McVay said.
But really great to be able to get the win. I thought a lot of guys contributed, and that's where you can see the depth of our football team. We'll enjoy this. It'll make for a fun flight home. And then what a great challenge we've got against Philly next week. Yeah, I think so. And I think there's going to be some cool learning ops for us as well. We had a couple things in the red zone where want to be able to connect, but he had a bunch of good catch and runs, makes another unbelievable catch on an end break, when we're kind of in a second down situation. But thought the touchdown was big. We had him on a little double move in the fringe, good late hands, and I thought he was excellent today. I believe he went over 100, got his touchdown, and Puka just, what a stud. I mean, he's so critical in crunch time situations, whether it's the 4th and 1 with a 45-yard touchdown run, well-blocked play, he ends up breaking the tackle to safety, and then really in the drive that we felt like the game kind of opened up, 2 plays in a row to start, to be able to, lead to explosives. It was good, and then, I was pleased with our team overall, but the answer is yes, Adam. Yeah, they just saw the way that he got up. That was buzzed out. That wasn't from anybody. They were just being smart. He was kind of just, a little bit on the ground, a little bit longer than usual. And then I think, Aaron on the side of safety and caution. And so he's good though.
Well, that was Sean McVay. Of course, he's very, very praising his team. But let me ask you this question. It sounds like he's really looking forward to the Philly game because we saw him last season. He was very emotional because he felt that this team could have beat the Eagles. They felt like they could have been in the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, 1,000%. Just a couple plays, a couple errors away from that Super Bowl. So I feel like we're going to come in hungry and with confidence coming into this week versus the Eagles. And I love it.
Yeah, one thing I took out of Sean McVay was that he's a great coach. He's been with this team now 9 years, only one losing season, only missed the playoffs twice. And you look at his stats, he's won a lot of division titles than any other coach in the franchise history. So it's safe to say that Sean McVay is like the new king of this franchise with everything he's done in the 9 years he's been here. I mean, think about it. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 2 NFC championships. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won division titles. He's won some playoff games, won some regular season games. So are we looking like at the next? I know Bill Belichick had a complete success in New England. Do you feel like we see another Bill Belichick in the young area?
I'll say so. Coach McVay is respected by many coaches and many other teams and players out there. That shows you the type of coach he is and the type of coaches he makes, because every coach he coaches or he's a coach with, or coaches that have been with him, transform into head coaches for other teams. So that shows you what type of coach he is. And you can't forget about how he coaches his team and just his ability to make it every year to the playoffs. But yeah, it just shows how great he is. I think he's up there. What you think, partner?
I mean, you look at I remember watching Hard Knocks 25 years ago, the first Hard Knocks. The Ravens won the championship. Brian Billick was the head coach. You look at his coaching staff. a lot of them went on to be NFL head coaches. You look at Rex Ryan, who coached the Jets, took the team to 2 AFC title games, appeared on Hard Knocks, was known for his foul language, but he had a defensive attitude, smash you in the mouth and run the ball. And then you also look at Jack Del Rio. He went on to coach the Jacksonville Jaguars, took them to the playoffs a couple years. Also took them to an AFC championship or a divisional playoff game. And then he went to coach the Raiders in his first season. He took the team to the playoffs. He ended a drought for the Raiders. So you remember him. And then you look at Mike Nolan. He was the Ravens wide receiver coach. He became coach of the 49ers. You look at Marvin Lewis, the maestro of that Ravens defense. He went on to coach the Cincinnati Bengals. He was like their longest coach in team history. Took them to the playoffs a couple of years. Didn't win any playoff games though, but led them to the playoffs and turned that team around after having a dismal 1990s. So you look at Brian Billick being a genius. You look at Bill Belichick. He's got coaches everywhere, famous coaches. He came out of Bill Parcells. You know, a lot of his coaching staff didn't really succeed. I think the only one that succeeded was Bill O'Brien, who was the Texans coach. He was Tom Brady's offensive coordinator. Josh McDaniels became coach, but he didn't have a good career. Romeo Crennel, he had an okay year. Charlie Weiss, he went to coach Notre Dame. He turned that program around. So, but now you look at Sean McVay, you know, look at the coaches that he had. You look at Kevin O'Connor. He was the quarterback's coach for Jared Goff. Guess what? He went off to coach the Minnesota Vikings. You look at Zach Stacy. He was Jared Goff's quarterback coach. Guess what? He's not coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Raheem Morris, who was the defensive coordinator on that Super Bowl team, he coaches the Atlanta Falcons. Even Brandon Staley, who was the DC for the Rams in 2020, he had a coaching job with the Chargers but lost it. But I think he's the only one that kind of failed out of that tree. And now you look at other assistants. So there's just a lot of resemblance to Bill Belichick. Yes, I know Belichick's got the rings and Sean McVay has one, but there's a chance that he might get more. If he stays with this team, guarantee you they're going to be contenders. Some notes, though, from the defense partner. We talked about the defense. How about this? So far this season, they're fourth in the NFL in yards per game. They're third in opponents' yards per play. They're tied for seventh in opponent third down conversions. And they're tied in second for opponents in the red zone efficiency. So how good is this defense? Can it get better?
I think we will be tested in these next 3 weeks of how good our defense will be, and we will have to see how it is. But so far, it's been dominant, and it's been everybody has been contributed in one way or another. But this injury that came up this past weekend is crucial, I think, and hopefully other guys could come in and step up.
Yeah. So we did want to update you this. So quarterback Ahkello Witherspoon, who was the hero last year, and the Cardinals win on Christmas night. Broke his looks like he has a broken clavis. It's not season ending according to the trainers, but he would return later this year. Apparently it's a 12-week injury. So again, we mentioned at the top of the program, winning in the NFL comes at cost. Do you feel like this is a big cost for the Rams defense?
Yeah, like you mentioned, last year he was key to many key plays versus key wide receivers for the opposite team. This might kill the Rams versus opposing wide receivers, which means other players have to step up, which is a factor. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, he was a hero last year. He came up big plays. If you look at that Cardinals game, had they scored that touchdown, the Rams wouldn't even be in the playoffs. They would be outside looking in. So winning that game was another step closer to winning the division. And I want to talk about Matthew Stafford real quick. He was asked about, Evan Washburn asked him about getting off to a good start. He says, it's better than the last 2 years. It's true. The last 2 years, this team got out to slow starts and had a rally in the second half of the season. So I think it's very good that they're winning early because that's how you set up for success. Get the wins that you're supposed to win. Week 1 with the Texans, that was a tough one. Excuse me. I expected that. I expected that on Tuesday. I expected that last week because it was a playoff team. But a team that's rebuilding, you should automatically win. And at first, it looked like they were going to go on a route, but then Titans kind of gave them a fight. But Rams pulled away in the second half of that win. We'll get you some more reactions right now from some players. But again, we mentioned Witherspoon's injury. Today, the Rams signed former Seahawks and 49ers cornerback Trey Brown. Brown had a stint with the 49ers, 74 tackles, 8 passes defense, and 2 interceptions, which one of them was returned for a touchdown in the 2023 season. That was, of course, the year that they went to I believe that was the Super Bowl or the championship team. They lost to the Niners that year. He's played 39 games, started 13 in his first 4 years with the Seattle Seahawks as well. He actually was he's a 4th round draft pick in the 2021 season. So he went with the Seattle Seahawks first, then became a 49er. He was with the Niners last year, but he was placed on IR after suffering a heel injury in last year's camp before he was released, according to the Niners with an injury settlement. So is this a good fit for him in his defense?
To be honest, partner, I had to look more into and scout more about Trey Brown, and who he is as a player and as a person, because he is listed at 5'10" and 186 pounds. So for a CB, I think that's kind of under the radar. But we'll see what he brings to the table. I think anybody in the Rams uniform will get that chemistry and fit in. I wish him luck with us, and hopefully he builds and fits right in.
Well, Brown's played the rivals before, so having him will be a good knowledge for that defense.
Yeah, I love that part.
All right, cool. We mentioned Davante Adams. He had a great game on Sunday against the Titans. Let's hear what he had to say about Sunday's game.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is part of it. I think we obviously don't want to get satisfied. Like, I think there's some plays out there still to be made. You can always grow and get better. But I mean, this is a good start, week 2, to be, somewhat rolling like this, playing, good team football, togetherness, celebrating each other's success. I mean, it's the way you dial it up for sure. Well, I mean, it's much more sweet when you get a dub with it for sure. I'll tell you, I've had a few different ones over the last few years where, it's harder to feel good about it. So obviously it's a little easier to celebrate it. And, it's not a literal celebration, but to feel good about it, definitely. It's been a long career, so it's good. Anytime you can be mentioned with, under 100 people, it's just period of, let alone, almost top 30 in yards. Like, that's something that means a lot to me. And, I know it means a lot to my teammates as well, because it means that I'm out there grinding, trying to do what I can do to almost win. Well, I got singled up, a little man coverage there. Had a great play call on. Just had to go out there and win on the stutterish go type route and bumped him a little bit on the route. And got over the top and finished the end zone right up. Yeah. No, he was trying to get me in that end zone for sure. So it was good. It was good to finally punch it in.
That was Davante Adams, who had a great game in the win against Tennessee. Let's hear from his partner in crime, Puka Nacua. Had a good game. Also had a 45-yard rush touchdown in the win. Let's hear from Puka Nacua of the Rams.
I guess it was actually when I think I may have said this before, but it was at Kobe Turner's wedding. I got that Coach McVay called me up. We're on the dance floor, we're dancing. It's Coach McVay, and he's like, "Hey, what you doing?" I'm like, I'm at Kobe's wedding. He's like, "Oh, all right, what do you think about Devontae Adams?" I'm like, "I think that would be sweet." I mentioned I grew up a Packers fan, so like, it didn't feel real, and then you realize we're getting there at OTAs and you're with him, and it's been that and everything I dreamed of and more. Now I just saw on Instagram we have a touchdown photo of us both flexing after his first touchdown on the Rams. And he would have said that when I was in high school. I'll be like, "Yeah, you're crazy." So it is pretty awesome. Yeah, I think one, it speaks to all the guys up front of the opportunity for us to go downfield and maybe be able to make plays. And I think we're all pretty confident in our guy number 9 and his ability to put it in the right spot and to absolutely trust with your body that where the ball's going to be. Is I think an elite trait that our team gets to play with as a wide receiver group because of the confidence that we have in number 9. Yeah, I think there definitely is a routine that he has. The time and dedication. I know that there's an opportunity that I get in the mornings to be able to go out there and watch tape with him, and I know he's there before I am, and so he's already dialed up. The notepad's open. He's writing things down, and I'm watching the clips for the first time. He's like, "Oh, you see that up top?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I was watching something else." So he's put in the time and effort to make our job as easy as possible, but also for his complete understanding. So. His routine and his time it definitely shows out there on the football field. Yeah, it was a short yardage call. It's during the week, coach says get ours and then get yours. So it was a get ours first, and I was like, holy cow, I'm still on my feet. And I'd be like, all right, let me try to get him out of here. And I think another testament to our guys up front of just some physicality, and I think especially in our wide receiver room, is something that we pride ourselves in, and that's something that Devontae has walked right in and been a huge part of. And we asked him to do a lot as well. And I know our guy Jay Wade has always been physical out there too, so it's an exciting play that encompasses our offense.
Very interesting how you found out about the signing of Davante Adams. His teammate's wedding.
Yeah, that's always a good way to find some great news like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got my wedding coming up in a couple of years, so if I find out there's a good signing for the Rams, maybe you have to call me or something. I don't know. I don't know how that goes. Yeah, it's like I'm gaming my dude, and I get a call from you and say, "Hey, man, Rams just signed. Guess what? Justin Fields or something like that." I'll be like, "No way, are you serious?"
You might have to book your wedding at SoFi Stadium.
I have to be like, "Sorry, honey, I gotta go. It's business." But that was good to know, and also I just like how he pretty much considers Davante Adams a good teammate. He didn't believe it at first. I mean, he did grow up as a Packer fan. He did watch Davante Adams, so think about Puka Nacua. He's played with two of the best in the business. He was a teammate for 2 years with Cooper Kupp, and now he's with Davante Adams. I mean, how special is that?
Yeah, not just that, partner. One of the best wide receivers with the best footwork in the NFL. Just imagine just putting Davante Adams with Cooper Kupp's. Wow, bro! Like they're just a great duo, you know.
And remember, let's go back to the Super Bowl year. I mean, the Rams receivers went down and they made some moves. You remember Robert Woods went down with a season-ending injury. He was one of their best receivers, and then they released DeSean Jackson because they couldn't agree on anything. So then they bring in Odell Beckham, and then they bring in Von Miller. If you remember that, I mean, what are the chances that they do this again?
You never know. We could see something like that. We've seen it before. We could see it again. That's a great thought.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, the only reason I believe they did it was because the Super Bowl was at SoFi and they were all in. They wanted to win now, so that was the right time to do it. But do you feel that this is the right time? Because I believe the Super Bowl's in Santa Clara this year.
Yeah, it's in Santa Clara. Yeah,
So
fine.
yeah, you imagine if the Rams play the Super Bowl in their rival's home yard.
Hey, never say not that's impossible.
So you mentioned earlier, we had a conversation before we went on air, more about the injury. So you said, I believe you mentioned something about the Rams using their backup players with Witherspoon's injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and elaborate about that.
Yeah, so after Witherspoon left the second quarter, in the beginning of the second quarter early, staff are pretty much confident in the other CB players we have, who are Emmanuel Forbes Jr., Kobe Durant, and Darius Williams. All three did play last week after Witherspoon went down early, and they all registered a pass breakup, which is pretty good to see. You see one of your starting players go down, you go up in there and you step it up and contribute and help out the team when a player goes down. So I love it.
Yeah, I mean it's good to see that. So we'll have to see how that goes from here on out. But again, Witherspoon's going to be out for an undetermined amount of time.
I think
Um,
he's out until the playoffs, partner.
yeah, if they make the playoffs, and
He might come back.
there's a chance that could happen. So we'll just have to
Yes,
see what
sir.
happens there. Now, I know time is starting to run a little bit here on the program, so we'll get you to the victory speech at the locker room after Sunday's game. But let's quickly talk about the Rams' next opponent, which is the rematch of the divisional, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. What are you looking forward to in this contest this week?
Stopping the run. Something we couldn't do last year, in which I think if we do that this year, we just have to stop that run. But at the same time, our defense has to step it up and just lock down everything. Our offense has to come out shooting, and that's what I think. What you got?
Well, I think you have to keep in mind you have to stop Jalen Hurts. I mean, look, this offense is not scoring points, and we saw them put up like a lot of points last year. We talk about the Sunday night match where they put up a lot of points. I think 37. You look at the Super Bowl where they put up 40 and just pretty much kicked the Chiefs' ass like up and down. Like it took them a half to win the Super Bowl because there was no way Kansas City was going to come back. And then look at that, they're still licking their wounds and they're at 0-2. You look at week 1, they put up 24 and won by 4. You look at on Sunday, they put up 20 and they allow 17. So if you're the Eagles and you score 20 points, chances are you're gonna win. Because it seems so far when they score 20, they win. Now last year it was 20-16. Again, the Rams could have won in that playoff game, bearing a couple mistakes. So the key factor for the Rams is going to be 1, Jalen Hurts, and 2, Barkley, the running back. We saw him run over that defense last year in those 2 games. Hasn't really run the ball much so far this season, but that could change. Now, the last time the Rams played the Eagles this early was the 2020 season, the COVID year. And that was the year where the Rams beat the Eagles down. I believe it was 38-16. So, I mean, there's a chance the Rams could win this game, but again, it just determines on what happens. And I wanna talk to you about something too, partner, because it looks like we talked about the injury to Ahkello Witherspoon. Sean McVay addressed that today about plans for him. Here's what he had to say.
either on the roster already or the practice squad in terms of addressing that absence, however long it may be, or will you explore avenues as far as like trading for or potentially signing somebody to fill that void?
Yeah, no, we've got a bunch of guys that we're confident in, but we will have a plan that we're working through that you'll see. We'll bring somebody in, and that'll be good.
So you heard it there. They brought in Trey Brown. Is he the savior, or they're still looking at maybe bringing somebody else in?
For now, I feel like we're gonna run it with our 3 players this week, and see if Trey Brown, our new CB signing, gets some practice run, and hopefully he gets more run next week. Then, if things go bad, we might go for another one. Worst case scenario.
Yeah. So, Coach, it looks like there is a discussion about. We talked about this too about last year. They did a lot of mistakes. You talk about the fourth quarter with those turnovers. Do you feel that they learned a lot from last year's game?
Yeah, they have to. So much off season, so much film, same players running it. I feel like, and it was a tough, heartbreaking loss, and they're never gonna forget that. And we play them twice this year, so I can't wait. We're gonna get our payback.
Yeah, Byron Young was talking about it too. This is what he said about learning from last year's game.
And just gotta knock out the run. That's something that they're known for is running the ball. So that's something that we're gonna have to be better at versus last time. Thanks, man.
So you saw it there. We talked about it too. The run game. They got outrun by one guy for 500 yards, and I believe 3 touchdowns in 2 games last year. So, do you agree with Byron Young about the running game? They have to stop it.
Yeah, 100%, because that's the key strength for the Eagles. If it's not Barkley, it's Hurts. If it's not Hurts, it's Barkley. But so far, AJ Brown hasn't done nothing this first week, second week. I'm kind of nervous that they're going to target him more than they usually do, especially when we're down on our CB position.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. And again, that game is gonna be this Sunday, and I believe the game's gonna be on Fox. I believe Fox is gonna have a doubleheader, and I believe it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning. What can the Rams do? What the Chiefs couldn't do? We know that the Chiefs have an explosive offense, but it's pretty much MIA. So, what do you think this game's main agenda will be? Focusing more on offense or more on defense?
I'll say the defense, because it's tough. I think it's both, to be honest, 50-50, because the Eagles they're Super Bowl champions for a reason, and I feel like we have to score points to have a comfortable lead for the defense to like keep it up. So yeah, that's what I go with.
I do want to get one more reaction in, partner. This is Blake Corum. We talked about how good he played. Here's his reaction from Sunday's game.
They're a tough team. 7 years we just stayed on our grind. We came to the locker room and said, let's go. Let's take our momentum back. The line, the circle on the line, and did a phenomenal job. Coming out that second half, firing off the ball and really just wearing those guys down, right? Wear them down and start popping 10-yard runs. So that was kind of the key.
So the run game was pretty much the key in the Rams' win, because a lot of the run plays were first downs and it kept the clock moving. So would it be safe to say that they need to focus more on the running game this week as they take on that Eagles front four?
Yeah, the running game will be good too. Once we open that running game, everything opens up for us. So I'll say that. but take it away from them. That's one thing for sure.
Okay, so final take here as we're running out of time here on the program. What's your final take out of this past Sunday's victory? What impressed you the most?
I think our full team effort once again. We look, that first half we looked pretty rough. It was a slow start, I'll say, but that second half was vintage Rams. Ever since that second half started to the end of the game, we took over, and that's how we supposed to do. And these first 2 weeks has been great as a Rams fan, and just as a team effort, it's been very good. That defense excites me more, to be honest. Just seeing that pressure every play by our great defense, and it's gonna be a great year, partner.
Yeah, it's going to be a great season indeed. Looks like from the way it looks like again the Rams beat the Titans 33-19 on Sunday. They improved to 2-0 on the year. And partner, are you ready for our favorite part of the program?
Yes, sir, partner. Let's get it.
We're going to take you in to the Rams locker room for their victory speech, and this is after the Titans game on Sunday. So get ready, get your earplugs on. We're going into the locker room.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm really, really proud of you guys because that little switch that you guys flipped in the second half, that's what it can feel like when we really put it together on both sides and in the kicking game. All right, I thought the turning point of the game, all right, was the turnover that we ended up creating defensively. We're really opening up. Where's Kev at? All right, here we go. I got a couple game balls. All right, but I felt this guy's presence all day. Ended up forcing the fumble that Landman ended up getting. Hey, this guy made a couple great runs. Got his first career touchdown. Another play that we had to have. Getting the sack. All right, first career sack as a Ram. Even through the penalty. Where's Josiah? Got a couple more right here. Hey, first touchdown as a Ram. Yes, sir. This thing made his presence all day. Right there is Devontae Adams. Okay, but I know we all love this guy. This is his hometown. He does so many great things for us. Wears so many hats. I'd be lost without him. We love him. Where's Carter?
And special thanks to the Rams for that clip of the All Access victory locker room speech. And partner, that team seems to be more united, closer than ever.
Our great partner. It looks like it seems and looks like, and you could feel that championship vibe in that locker room, the full chemistry building, and more and more and more each weekend out.
How is it? Do you sense that Sean McVay has a great relationship when it comes to talent? I mean, you look at the talent he had in the course of his 9 years. Having Todd Gurley, he had Jared Goff, he had Robert Woods, he had Cooper Kupp, he had Sammy Watkins, the great Aaron Donald, Von Miller. I can go down this list. Does it show that he's got a great relationship when it comes to acquiring great talent?
I think he's with every player, even if you're talented, even if you're the superstar or the backup, that third string. It just shows how good he is overall. Partner, what you think?
Well, I mean, it would have been nice for him. It would have been nice for the Rams to land Micah Parsons, but unfortunately, he didn't want to come here. He still has a thing with Jerry Jones. He wanted to be on a team that was going to play the Cowboys, and that team's off to a 2-0 start. They had a victory this past Thursday against the Commanders, so he's really looking forward to that revenge game in Dallas coming up in a couple weeks. So It would have been nice to have him here because even Aaron Donald said he would come out of retirement just to play with Michael Parsons. Seems to be a big fan of him. So, I mean, it's case of what is, but again, expect the Rams, possibly, maybe not. They'll make a trade. Who knows the way things are going. Now, if they do win on Sunday, is it possible they'll make trade moves?
No, I think we're good. If we win Sunday, I think we're good with the team we have. We just run it back. The chemistry's there. We'll just see what these next weeks, what our weakness will be in that defensive side.
Yes, indeed. We'll see what happens. And unfortunately, our time has come to an end here, which is really sad, but it's a job. But again, we want to thank everybody that's tuned in tonight. Partner, really quick, what's your famous lines when we end the show?
Yes, sir, partner. Another day, another podcast. Whose
Again,
house?
Again, we want to thank you guys for joining us. Tune in here for Rams Talk with Sports Talk and our YouTube Rams channel. Go ahead and subscribe today. For those of you that were not able to see, we'll have this episode uploaded so you guys can watch. We'll send you the link. Again, we want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next Rams Talk. Peace out, folks.